If there's one thing you wouldn't expect to hear about in the presidential debate coming up later this month, it's probably UFOs. But there has been a huge push over on social media to try and make UAP topics and disclosure a big part of the presidential debates. Just before we get into today's video, I want to let you guys know that we have just opened up 2 brand new YouTube channels. One called Simply Gaming, where we are keeping you up to date with all of the latest gaming news. We're also going to be doing live streams over there, follow along, let's plays, gameplay, all the rest of it, community games. It's going to be a great time. So if you're interested in gaming news and updates and games in general, get over there and subscribe to that channel. There will be a link down in the description and the pinned comment. And the other channel is called Simply Strange, where we take a look at some of the most popular videos on the internet and try to find little flaws in it. But be sure to go over and subscribe to those channels if that is something that you guys are interested in. There are already videos over there for you guys to sink your teeth into. But I hope that you enjoyed today's video. Let's get on with it. So UFOs at the presidential debate. The New Paradigm Institute has launched a social media campaign to convince the moderators of the presidential debates to ask about UFOs. And this was the video that they tagged alongside their campaign. And it's very, very interesting.
Hey CNN, we want to see UFO and UAP disclosure and transparency brought up in the debates. It's time. Let's get it.
CNN, I'm urging you to include UAP disclosure as a topic in the upcoming presidential debates.
I am reaching out to express my interest in CNN, including in the upcoming presidential debate, the topic of UFOs and UAPs.
Hello CNN, my name is Paul. I'd like them to bring up the UAP discussion. Thank you.
I do think that disclosure should be a topic for this year's presidential debates.
CNN moderators and presidential candidates, we're calling on you to cover this UFO phenomena in the presidential debates.
Americans deserve to hear CNN ask our presidential candidates in a serious fashion whether they will declassify high-level intelligence assessments regarding the possible nature and origin of unidentified anomalous phenomena.
Hi CNN, US citizen here. I would like to request that you actually include the UAP disclosure as a topic in the presidential debate this year.
I am urging CNN to include in the upcoming June 27th presidential debate a question about extraterrestrial life and the UFO phenomena.
Please include the topic of UAP disclosure in the upcoming presidential debate.
I urge CNN to include UAP disclosure as a question in the upcoming presidential debates.
CNN, I urge you to make UAP disclosure a topic in the upcoming presidential debate taking place on June 27th, 2024.
Please include UAP disclosure in the upcoming presidential debates. It is the single most important topic of our generation.
Hi CNN, would you please include UAP disclosure into the questions for the presidential debate?
I would like to urge Dana Bash and Jake Tapper from CNN to ask the presidential candidates about UAP disclosure and transparency.
Implications are too profound to ignore. Our taxpayer dollars are funding these black budget programs that involve extraterrestrial life and extraterrestrial technology.
This is an issue that's critical for public knowledge, government accountability and transparency, and national security. It is paramount that the candidates address this topic directly.
This is a very serious topic that has profound implications on humanity.
The US government has finally acknowledged these objects are real, and it's time for them to level with us about what they think they might represent.
The intentions of the current and the next president regarding ending this truth embargo must be part of the upcoming presidential debates. Thank you.
The huge names within that little campaign right there were insurmountable, right? To the point where, like, this is kind of overshadowing the presidential debate anyway. Like, people are even stating within that video that this is the single most important topic of this generation. Now, whether you agree with that or not, I mean, I have my personal opinions on that, but whether you agree or not, there's no denying that it is a huge topic. And, you know, why not level with the presidential candidates, Joe Biden and Donald Trump, with this topic? And, like, look at it and be like, look, guys, what do you know? What can you make happen? I mean, it would be a very interesting thing. But over on the News Nation YouTube channel, a video has just been launched stating, will the presidential debate cover UFOs? And again, it kind of goes over this topic, but in a little bit more detail from the news as opposed to a social media campaign.
The war in Gaza, the border, all sure to be covered extensively in the upcoming presidential debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. But that leaves plenty of room for other, as of yet, unidentified subjects. Because there is now a push to get the subject of UFOs into the presidential debate. In fact, the hashtag disclosure debate is trending online as not only an effort to have President Biden and Trump address the subject, but to declare their willingness to declassify files related to UFOs and UAPs. That's unidentified aerial phenomena. And the subject may have more credibility than ever before, thanks to a group of scientists, academics, and researchers from, wait for it, Harvard. Yes. They have collectively suggested that not only may aliens exist, but that extraterrestrial beings could be living underground on Earth, on the moon, or even walking around among humans.
This is a video that I've made already, so a couple of days ago I covered this, and then yesterday I covered a video in which a woman went on national TV here in the UK to state that she was actually an alien. Interesting stuff.
Many of you are thinking right now about certain people in your life. You're like, yeah, that makes sense. That checks out. Coining the term crypto-terrestrial to explain a secret UFO civilization, the scientists at Harvard have 4 theories on how those beings came to be walking among us. Number 1, they came from a different planet at some point, and they've concealed themselves ever since. 2, they're a form of intelligent species that have evolved separately from humans. 3, they're part of an ancient civilization on Earth, which mostly got wiped out at some point, possibly by a natural disaster. Or 4, there is something supernatural, like fairies and elves. Now, at one point in time, you could maybe say this seems so fantastical, but does the fact that this is all coming from Harvard researchers lend it any more credibility to the point where this will actually be covered in the presidential debates? And if so, what would Joe Biden and Donald Trump say? Just 4 months ago, or 4 months into his term, I should say, President Biden couldn't have been more dismissive when the subject came up.
Right, do I think this will actually be covered in the presidential debate? No. Would I like it to be? Absolutely. I'd be very intrigued to see what President Biden and Donald Trump were to say about the topic, but I just can't see it happening. Like, it's too fanatical, you know? It's too just conspiracy. I think they would cover more kind of pressing topics about real world events right now.
President Obama says that there is footage and records of objects in the skies, these unidentified aerial phenomenon, and he says we don't know exactly what they are. What do you think that it is?
I would ask him again. Thank you.
Donald Trump, on the other hand, had a much more measured response just a few days ago when he was a guest on wrestler-influencer Logan Paul's podcast.
I've met with pilots like beautiful Tom Cruise, but taller, okay? Yeah. Handsome, perfect people. Sir, there was something there that was round in form and going like 4 times faster than my super jet fighter plane. And I look at these guys, and they really mean it. Yeah. And am I a believer? No, I can't say I am. But I have met with people that are serious people that say there's some really strange things that they see flying around out there.
And remember, that was coming from people that look like Tom Cruise, only taller, so there's some credibility there. Now, keep in mind that this question was posed to Donald Trump by Logan Paul. He zip-lined into WrestleMania before a match in which he launched himself off the top rope. Now, I'm not knocking him, but would esteemed journalists like Jake Tapper or Dana Bash, who are moderating the first presidential debate, will they ask these kinds of questions? Remains to be seen. Will the candidates have to tackle this issue when the lights are the brightest and the world is watching?
I don't think that Logan Paul's credibility should matter in this topic. Now, I'm not going to claim to be the biggest fan of Logan Paul. I don't mind his podcast. Yes, he's done some shady things in the past. I won't deny it. But at the same time, it doesn't really matter who asked the question. The point is someone did. And, you know, someone actually did. This is what we wanted. And, you know, to kind of shame the interviewer is a bit shady, in my opinion. I don't think that's very fair to say.
Maybe even other worlds. Well, joining us now is UFO Seekers lead investigator Tim Doyle. Tim, thanks so much for coming on. So, they're going to be talking about a lot of different issues. You think UFOs, extraterrestrials, is going to be a question that's asked?
I definitely think that UFOs and UAP will be a question asked. I don't know specifically alien. Unfortunately, there isn't any scientific evidence of aliens having visited Earth, although that's what I spend my life and passion searching for, because there are so many people who believe they have seen something in the sky or encountered aliens. I've met a woman who swore she gave birth to an alien baby. So I think because of there's two separate issues going on, the UAP and the alien question. Right. Of course, there's so much out there in the universe. Aliens exist somewhere. But as far as aliens visiting Earth is a separate question. Of course, the UAP is a real issue and something is infiltrating American airspace. I myself have captured a spherical ball flying in the Sierra Nevada mountains of California. I've seen a balloon delivery system over California. Yeah. So UAP is an important issue, and also destigmatizing it.
And I agree, and I think it's a serious issue that can't be ignored at this point anymore like it was in the past. My question to you would be, what would you hope our next president would say about UAPs or UFOs?
I would hope that the next president would tell us which country is infiltrating American airspace and what they're doing about it. Of course,
Oh, that's... I don't know if they'd call out a specific country, because obviously they don't want to create a world war before they get into term, but they could, you don't have to point fingers, but you can say it's either on this world or off world.
Chinese spy balloon was a perfect example of human-made origins for these kind of objects. Of course, a balloon was shot down in the 1940s because the mainstream media was working with the Office of Censorship in the federal government to cover up the balloon bombs that were coming from Japan during World War II, which caused the only deaths on the American continent during the World War. So it's things like that, I think, that the president really needs to step up and let us know if it's our own technology, which I don't agree with, because we'd just be running a propaganda operation on ourselves. But I really think that it's some type of foreign entity that's been infiltrating our airspace with advanced technology. I mean, hey, even I run a drone photography business on the side, and I'm using Chinese-made drones, which I could never get away with using American-made technology.
Look, it's 2024. I think questions about AI and UAPs and UFOs are significant, and there's a strong likelihood that those questions will need to be asked. If it's not asked at this debate, it's going to be asked in the near future.
Thank you for watching.
What do you guys think? Do you think that the UAP topic will be discussed at the presidential debate, or do you think it's something that will not even be brought up? Again, I would like to say that I personally would absolutely love to see this debated at the at the debate, but I just can't see it happening. I don't think they will talk about it, and if they do, even if the question is asked, who's to say that Biden or Trump are going to turn around and actually give a logical and decent response to this, instead of just kind of glossing it off like Biden did before in the clip that they showed. But what do you think? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. While you're down there, be sure to jump scare the hell out of that like button, subscribe if you're new, tickle my little bell so you get notified whenever we upload to the channel, and until next time, guys, I hope you have enjoyed. Cannot wait to see you in the next one, and I'll speak to you later. Peace.